You've probably already seen the headline that the solar tax credit is dead. And for the old homeowner tax credit, that's kind of true. If you're a regular homeowner buying a system the old-fashioned way, the 30% tax credit ended for systems that were put in service after December 31st, 2025. That part is real. But here's the part that most people are missing. Tax credits did not disappear, they just moved. And in 2026, there are three main ways that homeowners may be able to benefit from federal tax incentives. They may not be the best, and they may not be the way we want, but they do exist. You just have to understand how the deal is structured. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. A lot of people have a lot to say about things that they know absolutely nothing about, which is why we generally try to avoid topics like this here at the lab. But we have been doing a lot of research and talking to a lot of industry professionals to make sure the information that we are going to be sharing with you guys today is correct, because I think it is very important and it's something that a lot of people clearly do not understand. If you are thinking about going solar, whether you're looking to do it DIY or you're looking to have someone take care of the entire process for you, we actually built a super simple quiz that we will leave a link to in the description. It takes like a minute. You just literally fill out like where you live and what kind of help you need, and it connects you directly with a company that we trust to help you guys get the job done. So if you're just trying to make this process super simple, go down there, take the quiz. It takes like a minute. Anyways, from somebody that has absolutely nothing to sell you guys, let's jump into what is going on with the new secret tax credit. So the mistake right now is that people are hearing the solar tax credit is gone. They're throwing their hands up and doing nothing about it. But doing nothing does not help your utility bill. It just leaves you paying that company every month. What changed is not the value of going solar, it's who gets the tax credit first and how the value of that tax credit can make its way back to you as a homeowner. And in 2026, there are basically three legitimate pathways that can deliver that tax credit to you. The first pathway is a power purchase agreement, or a PPA. This one is probably the simplest to understand. Under a power purchase agreement, you do not own the solar system. A third-party company owns the system, they install it on your house, and they sell you the power at an agreed upon rate. Do we love recommending for you guys to do this because you do not own the system? Not entirely, but you do get the credit. And anything in that little 1-minute quiz that we just mentioned, any of the PPAs that you guys will get directed to through our end of the quiz, they all offer a buyout after about 5 years. So you can actually take full ownership of it after that point, but it's still upfront is a different kind of contract. And it's different because the company owns the solar kit as a commercial asset, and that is kind of where this new tax credit is hidden. That tax credit is no longer with the homeowner, it is now a commercial tax credit. Under section 48E of the US tax code, the Clean Electricity Investment Credit, certain commercial clean energy products may still qualify for the tax incentive. So in English, the homeowner is not claiming the tax credit here, the company is. And the pitch here is that the company will take advantage of the tax credit and they will pass those savings along to you by baking them in to a lower power rate for you as the homeowner. In this setup, some deals are great and some are absolute garbage. The point here is if someone tells you that there is no tax incentive left, that's not true. In this PPA example, the tax credit does exist. It's just happening a little bit more upstream, and you're relying on that company to actually pass the savings along to you and not just take it all for themselves. The second pathway in 2026 is a prepaid lease structure. This works a lot like the PPA, but instead of paying month to month, you can actually pay upfront a portion of your project with cash or with some financing that you got, and immediately get rebates directly applied to offset the amount that you spent upfront. Again, with this, the key concept is going to be ownership. If the commercial entity owns the system, they are going to be the one taking advantage of the commercial tax credit. And the benefit for the homeowner is supposed to show up as a lower effective price. So the simple version of this one is you are not personally taking the old 30% homeowner tax credit. You're stepping into a structure where the company monetizes that incentive and your deal with them is supposed to reflect that. Meaning if the incentive for the tax credit in your situation was $8,000, you would hope that company passes the $8,000 onto you. It's more likely that they're going to be passing on less. They're going to be passing on $6,000 or something like that. But as long as they're passing the majority off, that is the hope with this deal. And the incentive with this one, instead of going with the PPA, is that it may actually create savings without you having to wait around for your personal tax return. So you're actually getting access to this savings a lot more upfront, which if the deal is structured right and the company is treating you well, that's actually better than before, because before you had to do the whole install, whatever, then wait around till tax season came and you had to file that personally to get the tax credit back. But again, with this one, the same warning, you have to look at the contract. Rate escalators matter. If someone has it baked into your contract that your rate is going to continue to grow and grow and grow over time, the whole point of going solar was to stop that from happening. So we don't love that. Buyout language matters. You have to really make sure that when it's time for you to get out of that system, you're not owing them that tax credit back or something like that. And transfer terms matter, because if you go to move, you don't want to not be able to transfer that system or run into some sort of issue where now you owe a ton of money just because you're trying to move and that system can't go with you or whatever. And the final and third pathway is probably the most open-ended and probably confusing one of all of them. There is ownership structures that may qualify for commercial credits. This is where everybody needs to just slow down and stop listening to the sales talk, because there are firms out there, for example, Solar Tax Pros. These guys actually market strategies for homeowners to capture more value through alternative ownership or tax structuring. They're basically tax professionals. They're like accountants, but they specialize in the tax laws surrounding solar. Solar Tax Pros publicly says that it helps homeowners pursue additional tax incentives, and they promote strategies beyond the old 30% tax credit. But here is the important part. Commercial tax credits, like the one in section 48E, typically require the property to be owned by the taxpayer and to be depreciable. The IRS and the Treasury guidance tie eligibility to depreciation. And IRS guidance on cost recovery says that owners of qualified properties may be eligible for a 5-year MACRS depreciation. So what that actually means in English is doing this is not going to be as simple as the old 30% homeowner tax credit, even this way. This is fact specific, structure specific, and taxpayer specific. And so the best way to say this is there may be ownership structures that allow some homeowners to access commercial style benefits, but it's not universal. It's not saying everyone still gets the 30% tax credit, because it's a very nuanced situation. This is basically for someone who maybe owns a business or runs a business out of their home. They may be able to take advantage of different things. This one specifically, it's just worth contacting someone like Solar Tax Pros and explaining your situation if you're not just a regular homeowner, and seeing if there is something that they can do to weasel a tax credit into your deal. The moral of this point is there is people out there who specialize in this. We have a link to one of them in the description down below, but do not take your tax advice or your tax credit advice from a salesperson in your driveway. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick example of how this new tax credit might work, just to help everybody understand really quickly. Let's say you're looking at a $30,000 solar project. Old world, before 2026, homeowners were looking at that thinking, okay, 30% tax credit, $30,000 setup. The effective cost of this is pretty much just $21,000. That's actually not entirely how it works, because the old tax credit came off of your income tax, but regardless, that's kind of just the general thought behind how this worked. Now the question becomes, is it a cash or a loan purchase? And what is your real out-of-pocket going to be without your Section 25D credit? If it's a PPA, like we mentioned originally, what power price are they actually offering you? And how much escalator are they trying to sneak in on that contract? If it's a prepaid lease, what is the true effective cost over the course of that contract? Are you actually retaining that tax incentive, or is it getting snuck back out of your pocket over the years? And if someone says you can still buy a solar system personally and capture the tax credit, who is the tax firm? What is the structure? And are they willing to put it in writing for you to show your CPA? That's basically the new game. And those are the questions that you need to ask or be aware of going forward with a situation like this. So this whole thing with the tax credit is annoying, and it definitely puts a hinder on some people's solar dreams. But at the same time, it's kind of a good thing, in a sense at least. It means the technology is working and a lot of people are going solar. The fact that they took the tax credit away means that they can't afford to just keep giving people money to do something, because it's becoming overwhelming how many people are doing it. So that's good for a lot of reasons. As things get more popular, typically typically the technology gets a little bit cheaper. It gets a little bit more reliable. And the quality of what you're actually doing is just getting better. Like we said, if you're interested in doing any of this, or you just want someone to take care of this for you, because it sounds like a nightmare, which I get if it does, we do have the quiz. It takes a minute and it connects you with a professional in whatever realm you're looking for, whether it's DIY or just to have the full thing done for you. Take that in the description down below. Otherwise, that is all we got for you guys today. Remember, this is not financial advice. Before you sign anything, have a real tax professional review your documentation with you, please. And that's all we got for you guys. We will catch you in the next one. Peace out and stay charged.